Hello everyone, welcome to your 6 to Fix in 6 on how to improve your training. In other words, what essentials must you do to transfer knowledge from the classroom into the workplace? One of the questions you often get asked is, look, our training is failing, what do we do? And we say, what do you mean by failing? Well, we teach them in the classroom and then they go back to the workplace and carry on doing what they used to do before. Now, NSF, we've been in the business of education for over 25 years, so what I want to do is to share with you our best-in-class practices. And in order to transfer learning from the classroom into the workplace and to move from conventional training into education, all you need to do is two things. One, recognise the difference between the two. At NSF, we say you train your pets, you educate your children, not the other way around. And number two is to recognise the immense value of taking the 10-20-70 approach to education. Now, 10-20-70 is simply a way of describing the amount of effort you put in on covering certain elements. So the 10% is around creating the motivation, the what's in it for me, for the learner, because unless people are emotionally engaged in what they're learning, they won't learn. Unless there's a what's in it for them individually, they're not going to learn. So the first challenge you face is making sure you motivate them in that 10% of contact time. You've also got to provide the context, the overview, the big picture, because without it, people won't learn. So often we get into the detail, the minutiae, the how-to, without explaining the why. And when you do that, the learning process stops dead. And finally, you've got to explain the essential facts, the essential information they must know in order to do their job effectively. That's the 10%. The 20% is really quite simple. Whatever you've done in the 10%, you practice immediately. You put into practice using case studies, role plays, practical problem-solving exercises. But you've got to do, and this is important, you've got to do this immediately. And then finally, the 70%, which is the vast majority of the learning, is outside the classroom, outside the tutor room, is actually in the workplace. And we'll talk about how you achieve that. Now, to give you an example of how this can be applied, one of our clients asked us to provide root cause analysis training for those involved in the investigation of deviation incidents. So, with that in mind, the 10%, these are the things that we covered. We covered the threats to them if their current situation of repeat incidents continued, the costs to them as individuals rather than the business, the time that they were spending away from their family and the stress they were individually experiencing as a result of the firefighting. And then we introduced them to our range of tools and techniques from Ishikawa diagrams, fault tree analysis, six hats thinking, track-wise. In other words, the factual content they really needed to understand. And then we moved on to immediate application, immediate practice. That's the 20%, using case studies, practical problem-solving exercises, risk ranking, process mapping. Whatever method you use, it has to consolidate, it has to strengthen the learning that you've just covered. That's the 20%. And then vitally, is having a plan for how that learning can be transferred in the workplace. So we developed coaching notes to allow supervisors to coach and mentor investigators. We did lunch and learn sessions where they would challenge and apply those tools on really difficult deviations. We did a report of the week where reports were sampled and those excellent reports were celebrated and shared. Those not so excellent ones, those responsible, were coached and mentored rather than criticised. And at the end of it, we not only changed their measures to drive the right behaviours, we also certified them as investigators. So in this ever-changing world, we need to change a lot of what we do and what we think. The starting point is in effective education, not training. Use the 10-20-70 approach, it works. And if you need any more information, please drop me an email, I'll send it to you. Please go to our library of free resources where there's more articles, white papers and YouTubes on the 10-20-70 approach. And if you've liked this, please share it, please like it and subscribe to our YouTube channel.